This morning I received a message from my Wilhelm which said, "Your moral compass will guide your life now." I go, wow, what does that mean? And I'm going to talk about it because Wilhelm is something that I have done since 1988. It is something that I needed to find at a point in my life where I was really going through a lot of stuff. And so I've done that since that time. But I haven't really told everybody about it, haven't gone into it, except now I have to do that because my moral compass is telling me that I have to do that. It's going to guide my life now. And let me tell you what I believe and what I've always come to believe, and I am now starting to own that. I think that everybody comes into the world with something to offer, something of value, something that's meaningful to offer the world. Every single person, except sometimes we don't believe that. And when we don't believe it, then we don't own up to it. And then we create the world like we see it today, where people are in conflict and fighting one another because they don't believe they have what they need. And the reason that's going on is because of me and you, because we have not done that. We have not listened to or followed whatever our particular moral compass is. That message was very clear. It says that, we can't, when you think about moral, what does that mean? It's going to be different for everyone. But basically it's referring to what is right and wrong. What do you think is right and wrong? And it's going to be within you. It's going to be your particular life path. And how do you know if you're doing that? How do you know which one you're following? Because if you're following what that life path is, your moral compass, you're pretty much going to be at peace. You're going to be completely at peace. You've accepted yourself. And then when you do that, you accept everyone else. Imagine what the world would look like if more of us did that. But I wasn't doing that. You see, I wasn't doing that because it seemed too weird. It seemed too crazy. How could I have received this information? How could I have a sense of what's going on in the world and then see it show up? When I started doing my channeling sessions, that was going on. Wilhelm would say things and then we'd see it happen in the world. And I go, that's too strange. Then I had to accept it. Because see, that again, my moral compass is saying, no, if you know this, if you have something that can help people, you have to do it. Every single person has that. It's not just me, it's all of us. But we get afraid, we don't trust, we don't think we're enough. And we just kind of, we are contradictory. We go to church, a lot of us who have gone to churches and grew up in religions and all of that, everyone said the same thing. You're all the same. You have these powers. You have everything that God has granted, you have that. We don't believe that. We don't do it. But each lifetime, each time we're living, we're going to get a little bit more of that. What is happening in the world now is we're moving into a whole different place. We're moving into a whole different reality. It's happened before. I mean, you can look this stuff up. And you haven't seen it in many, many hundreds of years, but it has happened before in our world. If you study history, you can see that that goes on. And so what we're supposed to do is go with it. And how do we do that? We want the world to be one that we want to live in. And so we have to figure out how to cooperate. But we're not cooperating because we're not owning who we are. We're not willing to talk about certain things. I was watching last night a 60 Minutes piece where this wonderful, that's what it was. It was One Small Step. It was this organization. Look them up, please. One Small Step. They've been telling stories. What they've been doing is getting people together so that they can air differences, talk about, because we don't talk. We're just going to fight. That's what you're seeing. And the reason is because we haven't gotten in touch with who we are and what we came to give to the world. That's exactly what I mean, give. When we know our intention about doing anything, we're going to live quite differently. If our intention is to put something into the world that's going to make a difference, wow, will our lives change. And so will the world. But if our intention is something else, then we have what we have right now. There are certain things that I believe, and I'm going to talk about my beliefs. I believe that everybody has, as I said, that everyone is equal. I don't see any kind of differences in any people. Everyone comes with something that they can offer. It's just different, but it's valuable, whatever it is. We have to have different opinions. We have to have contrast. We have to, so we can look at it, so we can choose who we want to be. But sometimes, for a lot of different reasons, we become afraid of that. We might have been living most of our lives feeling oppressed, put down. And so then we want to attack everyone else because we feel that we don't have any power. We don't have any freedom. We always do, but we're just not always willing to use it. We're not always willing to access it. And that's what I wasn't doing. And so now I did something the other day, and you guys know I talked about my 4 weeks to your best life. And I talked about it so much because I didn't believe it. I'm just being completely honest. None of us believe or know what we have, what we've been given before it starts to show up. And that's what happened for me. But I was told that I was given this information back in 2012, and it would give everyone the ability, most people, if they're willing to do the work, it would give them the ability to transform their lives. And I'm thinking, how could I have had that? How could I have been given that? That's not me. But then I saw it happen. And then I tried to convince people. I tried to convince you. I tried to anybody who would listen to me. I tried to convince you, do this. And it's really inexpensive right now. And I said, and it's guaranteed. And you're going to come out feeling more courageous and confident and know your purpose and all that. And everybody said, no, that's not true. They didn't do it. I said, it's guaranteed. You have nothing to lose. Still didn't do it. And that's what we have done. See, we look at things in our lives and we say, that's not possible for me. I couldn't have done that. I couldn't be the one who was given something that was valuable. My art couldn't be that good. My talent isn't enough as someone else. That is never true. This is why I do the work that I do, and it's why I love doing the work that I do, and I'm going to continue with it because now I understand that I was given something, and if I can help more and more people to become who they're meant to be, our world is going to start to look a little different, and my life will as well. And there's another part of this. This change that we're going through is a big shift in our world, not just in your country. It's all over. And that shift, if you've seen it, it's having to do with power not being enough, and it's a wealth and income inequality that's going to be changed because we've been out of balance for a really long time. I mean, the world as a whole. So that's where we're going now. And so someone sent me an email this morning. I sent out a message yesterday saying I should have made the price, I should have charged more money. And I should have charged more money. And I'm saying that because I've never known how valuable this information was because I couldn't trust it. Just as all of my clients have been. We don't know what we've been given, so we don't trust it. And then we don't put value on it. I put in the program, and you'll see in there, that I had to go through with all of the stuff that's there. I went through. I know, so I know it. I know the value of it. But when we went through this money thing, looking at how much money have I invested in my life to know what I have now, it was an astronomical number. Then someone sent me an email, said, when I was going to raise the rate, no, you shouldn't do that. People are suffering. People are suffering because they're not willing to get the money. And so if me lowering the price doesn't do anything. And if I give it away, then you really won't do anything because you haven't built up the empowerment to know that you have something that can be developed and can go out in the world. That's what I'm going to do. I know that my bigger mission now is to work with those people, and I have 15 of them now, which I'm so thrilled with. I've watched 15 people, or maybe a little more, completely transform, and they're still doing it. I'm still seeing the things coming in. And so that's where I'm going, because we have to have more of us who are willing to speak up and own who we are. Just exactly own who we are, what we believe, and when we do it, knowing that what we're going to say is going to help rather than cause more division, then we're going to change the world. But you have to look at what is within you, because you'll know. When you go to bed at night, if you're sleeping and you know that sleeping well, you know you've done what you were supposed to do. If you're peaceful, if you're happy, and if you have all the money you need, you're doing what you're supposed to do. So when this person asked me, said, maybe you shouldn't raise the price, wow, that's what I've done my entire life. I never valued myself. I never placed any amount of value on the work that I've done in this arena, and I'm seeing all these folks around me charging thousands of dollars for the work that I've done, and the work that I'm giving you that is a fraction of that. And so it's just, again, you can do what you want. I don't care if you come into the program. I just want you to examine choices that you're making and what you're believing about yourself. That's all. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to devote my life to helping more and more people remember why they're here, what they came to contribute, how valuable they are, and to cause their lives to turn around. Because the more people who do that, that's the way our world changes. We have all had those little ideas. Oh, I'm going to change the world. But we never believed it. I'm going to start to believe it. I'm just going to start to believe it and go with it. I've been called delusional. So I'm going to still be delusional because what I'm seeing is a lot of happy people. Have a good one.